Hey there, fearless gamers. This is the Stark Lord coming to you again, talking to you about Sisters of Battle. It's been a little while. I think I filmed the first two episodes back in May, and it's the end of August now. Sorry about that. So 6th edition happened. Let's quickly talk about how that affects the parts we talked about, just the HQ and the troops. And then I'll try to get on to elites today. That should actually be pretty quick. First off, HQs. Not much has changed. Canons is still mediocre. Standard priest dude, what do you call them? A confessor, still kind of mediocre. Your best bets are the special characters. Kiranov, still a good choice, but Uriah Jacobus and St. Celestine are your best options. Still probably. They didn't change much except to get better. The Saint is great. Jacobus is good too. I think the most complicated thing about taking him now is going to be with your whole battle conclave, since it says power weapon all over this book. You have a lot of options. You have to really think about what power weapon setups you want to use if you still want to use them. Because I think basically a group of Crusaders with power axes with their storm shields is a very effective, cheap anti-tank, and not anti-tank, big beefy unit, Death Star unit. I mean, strength 4, AP 2, sure, initiative 1 with a 3+, invuln save coming at you. Who cares? They're 15 points apiece. You can have a giant squad of that. I think that's a decent anti-counter thing. Plus, the Deathclaw Assassin says 2 power weapons. I didn't see the fact said anything about choosing on that, but if you could play around with that, have a ball. I think power weapons in 6 are ridiculously great, especially for strength 3 armies. I'll talk about that sometime probably, but I think really if anyone benefited in a general sense from the new power weapon rules, it's anyone that's not strength 4 or higher. Strength 3 is where you want to be for all the special enhancements, because then you actually really see nice gain for your points, definitely. Anyways, so yeah, Uriah, Saint, you're good. Troops, the big changes, again, with the power weapons, you can actually maybe throw a decent power weapon onto your Sister Superior in each squad. I'm not sure what you want to do. I mean, always my biggest problem with my sisters is the lack of strength. So, the power mauls, the maces are, I guess, a good option. Strength 5, at least on someone in your squad, in case someone comes at you with a biker or a monstrous creature. Plus, you can use Melt-A-Bombs in close combat now. So, Melt-A-Bombs, power weapon, good options, I think. Not positive. I did try out the power maul once in 6th edition, but the guy holding it, she kind of died before it got there. It happens. But it's good because if you have the old models, you do have the sister with the power maul up in the air, like over her head. Actually already modeled, so that's easy peasy. That's the only really difference there. I mean, you have you can actually handle stuff a little bit better because you have the crack grenades and you can get the Melt-A-Bomb on the Sister Superior. Like you have options that are good. So at least look into those options more. I know I will be. Another thing with the troops, definitely, I already said at least 3. I might say definitely 3, probably 4 troops in an army would be a good bet at 1850 and up. 1500 you probably get away with 3. Because troops are going to be really important obviously in this edition, so push it, and your troops are good. They all have invuln saves, they all have armor saves, they got power armor. That's something. Thing with that also is maybe doing a horde might be more viable now. I want to hear what people think about that. Instead of doing 10 sisters in a tank, which I always do, maybe 20 sisters on foot might be a better choice. At least one. Maybe have 2 squads of 10 in a tank, and 1 squad of 20, nice little blob of infantry and power armor. Could actually be a little bit more viable in 6th edition. It gives you a bigger unit to work with. You can hide your special weapons better. You have much longer lasting troops. The tank was there for survivability, but now low transport level stuff blows up a little bit more easily, and big tanks blow up a little bit more harder based on the new system, how it works. So the Rhino might not be as survivable as an extra 10 sisters, and there's not probably that much of a point difference. Actually, there probably is. Was it like 12 points per sister and 50 points basically for a Rhino? So you do the math. That's 4 sisters for a Rhino, so okay, that's 14 sisters or a Rhino. Your choice. But that's viable. I definitely want to try out a bigger squad, just because I think ground pounders, you know, your basic grunts might be more viable now. It might be a better choice for survivability reasons to go with that over the Rhino. The Rhino's still good, but the way hold points work, or the structure, is it hold points or structure points? I just forgot how hold points work. It's a little bit probably more viable to go with ground troops, because they might blow up a little more easily. So let's get past that. We know what we're using for our troops, obviously. We know what our HQs are probably going to be. Let's look at elites. Elites are probably the crappiest part of 6th edition, because they're the only thing that can't score, ever. So you really want the most bang for your buck out of these guys. And they're honestly probably the weakest part of the Sisters Codex besides the Canoness. No offense. I still love the model, but she was better. So let's look. Celestian Squad. They can get +1 strength off of their thing, I think. Yeah, Hand of the Emperor. Makes them strength 4, who cares? They're not a close combat unit. Standard sister stuff. No, don't take them. Just don't. I mean, maybe if you take them and a Canoness, they can use their +1 strength and her +1 initiative to make your Canoness like 11 skill 5, strength 7 with a power maul. No, strength 3, 4, 5, 6, strength 6 with a power maul. Oh no. Initiative 5. It's not worth it. It's just, don't, I hate to say it, but don't bother with them. I really can't see a good reason to take them. Moving on. I should take a step backwards. The other random elite is the Ecclesiarchal Priest, which does not count as a slot. They're a good way to get random eviscerators in your army for about, I can do math, I swear, 70 points a bit, because 45 for the Priest, 25 for the Eviscerator. It is a way to get more AP2 in there for close combat, but again, I don't really like the points spent on that. I don't know. I would like to see what someone else says about priests. I don't really like them, but maybe I'm wrong. I might be very wrong. Someone should try them at some point. And then your third option, really you only had 2 options. You have the priest kind of, the other Celestians, which suck. Sorry. That's really fast. Celestians, no, don't take them. Repentia. Repentia, I was tempted to take in 5th. I'm still tempted to take now, because again, you have the kind of the anti-Death Star counter-attack unit out of them. Since Rage changed, Rage used to be you had to run out the closest unit, now Rage just gives you extra attacks in 6th edition. So now you got, 4 attacks on the charge. No, yeah, 4 attacks on the charge. They have 2 attacks base, so 2 for Rage, because I think you get 2 instead of 1. Don't quote me. In fact, I'm not quoting anything. But 4 attacks on the charge with, initiative 1, strength 6, AP 2, eviscerators, hooray. Might be viable. Again, they have Feel No Pain, which means they're slightly more survivable, because Feel No Pain got worse and better at the same time. I mean, it covers more things now, but it's a crappier roll, so your choice. I overall think it's better, because it's really supposed to handle that small arms fire type stuff, like bolters and all that, which it still does. Repentia are not survivable. I mean, they have no save. So they have their Feel No Pain, and then they have their Invulnerable save. Or switch that around. They have their Invulnerable save, and then their Feel No Pain, and their Invulnerable is terrible. It was 6 plus Invuln, followed by 5 plus Feel No Pain, so they're probably not living too well. I don't want to do the percentages right now, but, you're only living a third. Let's see. Let's try this really quick in our heads. Okay, 1/6 of the time you live, that's, what, 18%? And then if that 18% you succeed, so that means you fail 82% of the time. If that 82% of the time, you will succeed a third of the time. So a third of 82 is, what, 20-something? So we will survive 20% of the time getting shot at. That's not terrible. That's like having a 5+ save. Only you get all that unless they have, like, strength 6 weapons or better. That was really bad math. I hope it was right. I'm not going to check. You guys can tell me if I was wrong. So yeah, they go last, but they're strength 6. Their faith power lets them at least get 1 attack even if they die, which makes them a little bit viable. They're not terribly expensive. They're basically 17 points each. It's not bad. It's 1 point more than a Space Marine for a dedicated close combat dude that gets a lot of attacks, and I think they're worth a try. I don't think they're good, but they will pop a tank pretty easy. They will take on, at least concern, some kind of dedicated assault unit. Again, these guys, you hold back, I would say. Wait a bit, use them as a counter assault, like you would use the Battle Conclave, you know. Wait for someone to come at you, and then you just crunch into their Death Star, or mob up on their Death Star and smash it to the ground. Do they have anything else snazzy? They got frag and crack grenades for all the good that does. Oh, they have Fleet. I don't even know what Fleet does in 6th edition. I heard it's okay. Yeah. I mean, that's basically it for them. The cool thing is they got, you know, the Mistress Repentia, who's got her neural whips, which I think are just power weapons now, which is lame. I have to look into that. I'm sorry I didn't check the fact on what those do. I should do that. But yeah, I think if you're going to take anything out of the elites, the Repentia might be the best bet, just because they, you know, they can actually do something. They have an obvious role, and that's good. I mean, the biggest weakness Sisters usually have is they're not really a close combat army. They're a short-range shooting army, so you have to pick your battles and find your ways to deal with them. And the way to deal with it is either run away, get in a tank, or have something that can deal with it. And your things that can deal with it are Battle Conclaves and Repentia. So maybe give them a try. At the very least, they'll slow things down with their maniacal chainsaws of death. So again, tell me what you think so far. Next time we'll talk about fast attack and probably heavy support. We can probably finish off the book at that point. Those are the best two sections of the book. The fast attack and the heavy support are going to be pretty. So yeah, elites are terrible in this system. First off, elites are crap in 6th edition anyways. There's almost, again, unless they're killing things constantly, don't take them. Because they can't score ever, so there's no reason to have them. Unless they kill stuff. So, and that's it. Repentia or bust on your elites. Honestly, just skip it. Save the points, probably. Though, you know, let me hear what you think. I really want to know what you guys think, obviously, because I'm trying to find a good build for the Sisters. You are maybe thinking of never playing Sisters. That's fine. Hopefully we'll get a new system or a model soon, and that will change. Can't wait for that, right, Plastic? So, that's it. Again, tell me what you think. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Like, what you think I'm doing wrong with this idea with building the Sisters. Tell me what you want to do. Tell me what I'm doing right. Again, what I'm doing right is playing Celestine and Jacobus. That's all there is to it. That's playing Sisters right at this point. Eventually we'll talk about allies for them, but let's not worry about that. Let's try to keep this pure. And, you know, all, you know, or they'll burn us kind of thing. Let's avoid that. Right. Anyways, until next time, fearless gamers.